Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Well guys, today what we're going to do is we're going to do a little cleaning here of the Sig Sauer Mosquito chambered in 22 long rifle. And I should probably mention at this time that this pistol is on loan to me from the private collection of Stan. Stan is the owner of SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. Guys, I want you guys to give SS Pawn a call and they will take care of all of your firearms needs and they do have some fantastic prices. So definitely a company that you want to get in touch with. So that's SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. All right, so what we want to do is talk about some of the basic cleaning supplies that you're going to need before you can do this tear down and cleaning. It's pretty simple. Some cut up cotton chunks, some cut up cotton t-shirt pieces, patches, regular patches, some CLP, some Remington Rem Oil, various bristle brushes that you can use, soft brass and nylon. I guess we don't need the cleaning rod because it's a 22. We will be using a 22 caliber bore snake, however, to clean out that barrel. I just find that that's easier than messing with a jag and tiny patches and a cleaning rod and all that fun stuff. Some Q-tips. And as always, a cup of coffee. We've got some Black Rifle Coffee Company AK-47 espresso rounds going on here. And if you're watching the channel, I just got done cleaning the Smith & Wesson SD9 and everything's already out. So I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and take care of the Sig Sauer Mosquito. All right, so what you want to do is ensure that the firearm is in fact unloaded. So go ahead and eject the magazine. Okay, it's empty. Check the chamber. Okay, good to go. Now you can go ahead and use the decocking lever right here if you want to. So go ahead and do so. Okay, done. And we'll go ahead and move on to our next step. Alright guys, so if you're familiar with Sig Sauers, you might know the process of disassembling and cleaning. This is actually just a little bit different, a little more complicated in my opinion. So what you want to do is go ahead and just pull back on the hammer, okay, and cock it back. Rotate this takedown lever 180 degrees. And then what you want to do is pull back on the slide and then lift up and keep pressure on this the whole time and slowly let the slide out. And it's a little tricky. Okay, now you've got your guide rod and spring. Okay, they're not captive, which means they're going to go flying all over the place. So when we reassemble this, we'll show you how to put this back together. There's a little piece down here also that the guide rod is going to sit up against, a little silver piece. You want to be careful not to have that fall out because you got to make sure it's seated properly when you reassemble it. All right, so I think what we'll do is go ahead and just start off with the absolute basics. Let's just go ahead and clean this guide rod. And we're just going to go and hit it with just a little bit of Rem Oil. Take it out of the spring there. There we go. And go ahead and wipe it off. Again, we'll go through every step of the process. So if this is your first pistol, this is going to be good information for you. Real simple, real easy to follow. If you're not familiar with it, then you know, this is going to help. If you already know the gun, then you should be sitting good. Okay, it should be a pretty easy process for you. Okay, so all right, got that all wiped off. Good to go. It does have a light glaze on it. You don't need a real heavy oil for this particular pistol. Again, you don't want to get any kind of a buildup. Let's go ahead and just spray the mag a little bit, okay, and then go ahead and wipe it off. You know, with your 22, you tend to get a lot of carbon deposits, spent powder, and so on that can build up on everything. And this magazine, very similar to many other 22 semi-automatic pistols out there, almost like a Ruger Mark Series magazine. Not much different, to be honest with you. I don't recommend you disassemble this magazine unless you follow the instructions. I won't be doing it in this video. I suppose you could if you wanted to. I wouldn't really worry about it though unless your magazine's giving you some fits and you don't know if it's got a spring that needs to be changed or whatnot. Let's go ahead and wipe that off. Now the gun does have, I think it's a hydro-dipped graphics on it. Hydro-dipped, I think is what they call it. And we're not going to have to go too crazy when it comes to wiping it off. In fact, we'll probably just use Rem Oil on the outside surface so it doesn't mess up the finish. Okay, got that all finished. The slide here, let's go ahead and spray that with some Rem Oil. It's interesting, it's got like a thick coating inside the slide. And you know, the outside of the coating, the outside of the slide is real thick from the hydro dip. And, oh yeah, she's a little dirty, What we're gonna do is just go ahead and wipe off all the edges we can reach. We'll get some Kleenexes out here and do a little bit of fine detail work in a little bit. You wanna definitely get the face where your striker comes out. Actually, I don't know, is it called the striker on a 22? It might be, I know it's like a little bar that comes out and hits the rimfire round. But in essence, it's going to be the same kind of functionality as just a lot of the other pistols that you might have. Okay, that's not bad. Let's go ahead and get some Q-tips and put a little bit of Rem Oil on those. Again, you don't want your guns real greasy, but you do want them, you know, definitely clean. And again, you can get some carbon fouling after not too many rounds when it comes to 22 long rifle, just because of the almost like a blowback action style and just the buildup that can get in there. Yeah, this definitely needed a little bit of a cleaning. It's an interesting build. I've never really seen a pistol like this before. It's definitely different from, you know, the semi-automatics that you guys might be used to seeing on the channel. We don't do a whole lot with the 22s. You know, I did one with the Jimenez JA22. I did a disassembly and cleaning. What I'm doing is I'm going down the rails here, down the tracks with a Q-tip. It's got some CLP on it. Just want to get in there and get some of the grit and all the grime out of it. Surprisingly, it's really not that dirty. I thought maybe it was going to be dirtier, being it is a rimfire cartridge, but it's not. So, okay, not bad. It's decent. I think what we'll do is just do one more, okay, little patch with some rem oil on there, and then we'll go ahead and work on our lower receiver. Wipe that out. Again, if you're seeing a lot of deposits and you know, crud coming off on your patch, you probably want to go through with a little more detail, and you can always do that. Not a problem. Get that all cleaned out. There we go. Get that off. Looks good. So far, so good. Again, light glaze oil to protect everything, and that's going to be adequate enough. Cool. Okay, I'm going to take a Q-tip. I'll do this off camera real quick. Take a Q-tip and just clean out this little area where the guide rod and the spring comes down, because it does have quite a buildup in there. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, the slide is nice and clean. I got that all detailed out, got all the crap out of it. It's good to go. We're just going to go ahead and set that off to the side. And next, you want to take some CLP. It's one of the few points I'll actually be using CLP on this gun. Go ahead and just shoot some down the barrel. Again, we're going to marinate the barrel, let that soak in, spray a little bit towards the rear of the barrel. There's definitely some buildup going on here. And then while that's sitting there soaking, we can go ahead and shoot some rem oil in the lower, and then just start going through it. Now again, we've got some confined spaces here, so may have to get some Q-tips out for this one to get all those different edges cleaned off. Definitely a different build and construction from what you're used to seeing in your other Sig Sauer, you know, your 226 and 228, 229, all that fun stuff. Those series of pistols. It's funny, the Sig, I've actually tested several. This is probably about the 5th or 6th that I've tested on my channel. I think it's more than any other particular brand of handgun. I've always been really impressed with the quality and the fit and the finish. At some point I'd like to buy myself maybe a 226, and if you check my channel, I've got, you know, the other range tests that I've done, and I do love to shoot them. They always seem to be really accurate, and I don't really ever seem to have any issues with them at all. Okay, what we're going to do now is, again, we're just kind of scrubbing everything off, cleaning everything off before we get some Q-tips out here. Let's go ahead and take the cleaning rod that I talked about earlier and put a patch on there. It's a very narrow channel where the magazine goes, your magazine well of your pistol grip. And I want to get that cleaned out just in case there's any lint. I noticed when I took off the slide, there was a lot of just kind of dust and debris under the slide, almost like maybe it had been holster carried a lot, or maybe kept around kind of as maybe a camping gun or a cabin gun. It definitely needed to be cleaned off. So we're going to wipe that out, and you can see all the stuff that came off on that. Get down here on the top and scrub down in there. You can use a couple patches if you want to. Looks good. Okay, we got that all taken care of. All right, go ahead and just wipe off the feeding ramp a little bit. You sometimes get some lead buildup on there too. So, interesting build and construction. Like I said, I've never fired a 22 SIG before, so this will be a lot of fun to take it to the range. I'm definitely looking forward to it. We're going to shoot it with several different kinds of ammo just in case we have any feeding and malfunction issues. I don't know, it's getting some interesting feedback from people on Instagram when I posted a picture of this pistol. Everything from good luck to, hey, it runs fine if you run, you know, CCI mini mags through it. It's a lot of fun. It's a great camping gun. Got a lot of feedback from people on it so far. All right, let's go ahead and move on to cleaning out that barrel. Okay, so this might seem a little bit awkward since I'm doing this kind of behind the camera. So what you want to do is go ahead and take your bore snake and take your weight, put it down the rear of the barrel. Now I'm running this through dry the first time, and that's just because the barrel is full of CLP. There's really no point in putting CLP on the bore snake itself, at least the first time that you use it. I've got a knot in the string, but I don't think it's going to matter. So just go ahead and glide the bore snake in through the rear of the barrel. Now it's going to be, you know, it's going to be some tight space here because we are running a pretty decent sized piece of rope or string through the barrel itself. Okay, get yourself a nice grip. Go ahead and pull slowly. Again, it's going to be pretty tight. Oh yeah, there's always this little bunching up that happens here at the back of this one. I think this is Hobby's or Allen brand bore snake. There we go. Okay, got that the first time. And now what we're going to do is now we can put the CLP on. You want to go ahead and put a little CLP on the front and a little bit on the back. There we go. Okay, just go ahead and make sure that it's at least damp. Okay, we're only going to do this one more time. You could do it up to 2 or 3 more times if you want to, but should have a fairly clean barrel by that point. Already looking down the barrel, I can already see it shining. Okay, we'll go ahead and drop the weight through again. Okay, awkward angle again. All right. And again, once you give these guns a nice cleaning the first time, it's so much easier to clean it the second and the third because you kind of have that protective coating of cleaner on there, of oil. Makes it much easier when it comes time to clean the pistols in the future. Okay, so go ahead and just grab, get yourself a nice grip on the string and pull. Slowly, don't want to launch the gun. There we go. Okay, straighten out that little bit of rope on the back. And we're done. I don't know if we can get you guys to see that or not. Barrel, the grooves look nice. There's no debris in the barrel. There's no buildup in there. It's nice and shiny. It's exactly what we're looking for. There's a little bit of wear on the top of the rear of the barrel, but almost looks like something's been kind of smacking into it, but we'll see how it fires when we actually get there. So, all right, let's go ahead and go back to reassembly. We'll go from there. All right, guys, so reassembly on this is not impossible, but it can be a little bit tricky. So you've got this metal spacer, this piece underneath here where your guide rod is going to rest underneath the barrel. What you want to do is go ahead and take your guide rod and spring and go ahead and put them in that little circular indentation on that little metal spacer so it looks like this. All right. Go ahead and take your slide, and what you're going to need to do is get the guide rod and the spring into the bottom hole, and you want to make sure that you get your barrel to go into obviously the hole in the slide for the barrel. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull back on it, and we're going to push down, and the slide is going to lock back into place like it was before we took it apart. Now here's the little trick. Okay, you want to hold on to the slide, pull back on the hammer, take the pressure off, and then release, and then let go. Push your takedown lever back 180 degrees, and you're good to go. So if you're trying to get this on and you cannot get this little takedown lever to go, pull back on the hammer and take that tension off of what's pushing on the top of the slide, and you should be good to go. Okay, so it's not a problem. Go back and rewind that and watch it if you need to. Essentially, all we did was put the slide back down on the top, pull down on the hammer, hold it, and slowly let go of the slide as it locked back into place. Flip the lever around 180 degrees, and you are golden. Okay, let's go ahead and find the magazine. We'll put that back in. Okay, we'll check the action. Okay, it does lock back into place. It's not a very strong spring, so if you just whip it back and let go, that is normal. Okay. Magazine in, you have to have that in order to dry fire it. It's your magazine release there. You can use your decocker, make sure that works. Okay, pull back on the hammer and pull the trigger. There we go. Woo! Just bumped it. All right, so there you go, guys. All right, so in a nutshell, that's going to be the basics of taking apart and cleaning the Sig Sauer Mosquito. I'm going to check that out. It keeps popping out. It's not impossible. It's one of those things where after you practice it a couple times, you'll definitely get better with it. It just takes a little bit of practice, and you should be all set. It does clean up nicely. I'm just going to wipe off the outside with just a little bit of Rem oil, like I usually do, and get that all cleaned off and get it all taken care of. So thanks for joining us today, guys. Please like or subscribe if you like what you see. We got all kinds of videos on the channel for you to check out. We'll be going out to the range here. Probably about a day or so. We'll take out the Mosquito and put it through its paces and see what kind of ammo it feeds best. And also, guys, you can check me out over on Facebook, Instagram. I'm also over on gunchannels.com with the Ordinary Average Guy Gun Channel. And on Saturdays, we do a live podcast called The Caliber Corner at 8 a.m. Saturday mornings on YouTube and gunchannels.com. If you want to support the channel, you can support us directly over on Patreon with www.patreon.com/TravisP11, and you can do so. I'm really looking forward to taking this out. So Stan at SS Pond, thank you again for loaning it to me. We got it all cleaned up, and we should be all set to go. All right, guys, so if you like what you see, please like or subscribe. Guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.